guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Food in America Compared to the UK. Why is it so different? So I'm sure that we've all have asked ourselves that question at some point in our lives. So I can't wait to find out. Let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe.
Did you know that if you were to buy certain food ingredients at a grocery store in the United Kingdom, in Europe, and in America, same brand, same type chip, a packaged good, you could buy the exact same brand of food and the ingredient labels will be completely different.
It is very weird.
I believe this is one of the main reasons why the United States is so sick. What I'm about to show you of what we allow
Sick as in how? As in like health? What, mentally what?
into our products compared to what is happening in other parts of the world is shocking. And it's kind of shameful for the government regulation or lack thereof that goes into this.
I
and
agree.
the foods you're about to see of what is making us so sick in America, leading the way in chronic disease. So this is one of the things that really opened my eyes to how food companies, especially in America, are just exploiting us. I've spent years investigating this, and the difference between European and American food and the products and what I found that I'm about to show you, it disgusted me. So
I think it's about the regulations, right? I think the EU doesn't really allow for a lot of chemicals and ingredients that are super, they're okay to use in the US.
in 2012, I went to the London Olympics. I got the privilege to be a Olympic team doctor and support the athletes leading up to it for the
I was like, wait, what? He's an athlete? No, he's a doctor. Okay.
wrestling team and weightlifting team, and got to be at the Olympic House and see many of them win medals. And it's a fantastic experience. And Nurse Living Good, my wife, got to go with me, and we raised money for these athletes and helped support them. It's amazing how little support some of the athletes don't get. But while I was over there, I got to experience European food. And I noticed there was a big difference on some simple foods in a convenience store, in a grocery store, compared to the ones back in America. So right now we're going to break down some of the pictures, comparing them from a before or after. Now, this resource I came across with Food Babe, who does a fantastic job of putting them side by side, but it's the exact same thing that I saw and confirmed when I was over there at the Olympics, looking at these companies like Kraft Heinz, Kellogg's, Pepsi Company, Quaker. They sell safer, better products overseas while making inferior versions right here in America.
It's actually about the money. I'm thinking maybe it's cheaper to produce quality, subpar quality.
It's Americans. The evidence that you're about to see runs the gamut from fast food places to boxed cake mixes to cereals to candies, even oatmeal. You can't escape it. So this is what set me down this path of calling out big food industries, calling out big pharma industries, but leading you guys to make food simple. And I've never looked back of trying to figure out what's causing us to be so sick instead of waiting for people to get sick or exploiting sick people like big pharma and big food has done. Check these out. Here are 6 products that are completely different overseas than they are in America. Before
this, I'm gonna guess bread is definitely one of them. I think bread is just very weird in the US.
Start with the big one. McDonald's French fries.
Okay.
They make their iconic French fries in the UK with a few simple ingredients. Potatoes, oil, dextrose, salt.
What is dextrose?
But in the US, completely different label. They're made with natural beef flavor, they're made with sodium, they're made with pyrophosphate, and they are fried in oil laced with anti-foaming agents.
Why?
That's the main ingredient in silly putty. But why is it ending up in our food?
Well, that's not good.
They've somehow figured out to cook their fries without all these extra ingredients overseas, but why not here?
Yeah.
Begs the question. Second one to look at, Quaker Oats.
That's crazy.
Instant oat packets. Did you know Quaker Oats strawberries and cream has 0 strawberries?
Yeah, well, I'll admit, if you're buying the instant, those instant Quaker oatmeal packets, I'm not expecting to actually see an actual strawberry. They're dehydrated things. I wouldn't even call them fruit because it's just a piece of red thing that's like maybe mostly sugar, I would assume, but it's not. And maybe flavored strawberry, but not actual strawberry.
In the US, Quaker mimics the look and the taste of real strawberries, and what they use is flavored and colored fruit pieces.
Yes.
They're comprised of dehydrated apples, and then
it's
they use
apple.
artificial strawberry flavoring, citric acid, and artificial dye, red number 4.
Okay, now it makes all the sense in the world, because if you have tasted this and the texture is quite like, oh, it's an apple, makes all the sense in the world, because it looks like dehydrated apple. It's true, like the texture is very like rubbery and sort of like, I cannot explain it, but it's like makes sense once you know it's dehydrated apple.
40, which would cause concentration issues. It's total craziness.
It is.
It's not even a strawberry. Meanwhile,
isn't.
in the UK, Quaker doesn't even attempt to sell that garbage. It doesn't make any products like that. The closest counterpart that they have is a product called Oat So Simple that has real strawberries in it.
Oh, it has
and
real
it's light
strawberries?
years ahead of the popular US version that's made with all those toxic artificial dyes and artificial colorings. Number 3 is Mountain Dew. Now, none of these foods are healthy. I don't advise eating them. And some of you can just save the comment of like, well, I just shouldn't eat them anyway. But
I was about to say, like, well, if you want oatmeal and strawberries, like, just get oatmeal prepared and pour some strawberries on there, like.
just comparing how.
And Mountain Dew, well, I know some people love this, but it's like, that's radioactive. Please do not have this, like, every single day of your life.
Are they approved overseas? And here we're allowed to put all this garbage in there. I mean, you pick up a bottle of Mountain Dew in the UK, and you'll find that it gets its bright yellow color simply from beta carotene. It's a natural color derived from carrots and other plants. Meanwhile, Pepsi, who makes Mountain Dew, sells a very different version of Mountain Dew in America. Here in the States, instead of using natural colors to give it that bright popping look, Mountain Dew is artificially colored with a petroleum-based dye called Yellow number 5. Major problems with reproductive issues and allergens.
Jello number 5, it's made out of, it's petroleum? That's, I did not like that. I did not want to know that.
With that. Now, artificial dyes are common in America, but that doesn't make them okay to eat. They've been linked to several health issues, like I just explained, as well as they're known carcinogens, some of them. They're certainly not as safe as beta carotene, but Mountain Dew, that story gets worse. The US version of Mountain Dew also contains brominated vegetable oil, BVO.
Oh, it's banned.
And that ingredient is banned in Europe.
Why?
Way back in 2014, Pepsi said, okay, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to remove BVO from all the American drinks, following a real successful petition that was put on. But they still have not removed it from Mountain Dew. Nearly, this many years.
Is that legal? Like, I'm going to guess they'll give you like a couple of years to actually figure things out, but what's a long time ago?
Later. They continue to sell the BVO-free version in other countries, and they allow us to stay sick and toxic.
But why?
Number 4, Heinz ketchup. The kind you're going to find in almost every restaurant in America.
Yeah.
Heinz ketchup is GMO-free in the United Kingdom, but full of genetically modified organisms and high fructose corn syrup in the United States.
Yeah, I don't know why ketchup needs to have like high fructose like corn syrup. Like, is it a texture thing? Because I don't think that your ketchup needs to have that.
Along with lab-produced natural flavorings, which not all of them are bad, but from a company like this, they're bad. And it helps create an addiction to the product. Think of that the next time you're dipping your fries and you can't stop eating that ketchup. Now, Heinz is attempting to make a Simply Heinz version ketchup in the United States with natural flavorings and cleaner ingredients. Why don't they just make the same one that they use over in the UK as their regular ketchup?
That seems right.
There's no need for all the heavy processing, but they want to get you more addicted to it, so you'll buy more of it. It's a problem. Number 5, Doritos. Now, both versions of Doritos are horrible, but the American Doritos are covered in artificial dyes.
Are worse?
They're all made from petroleum, the red number 40, the blue.
The ingredient list, I'm not even going to attempt, like, please don't tell me. Oh my god, there's like a lot of things. Even the UK version has a lot of things.
Blue number 1, the yellow number 5, super toxic. The dyes have been found to be contaminated with carcinogens, such as benzidine. Benzenes can create some really ugly blood cancers if overconsumed.
Oh my god, okay.
In the UK, these dyes require a warning label that they may have adverse effects on the activity and attention in children, let alone other side effects. So No company wants to put that on.
Yeah, the warning label that tells you like this is bad for you, like there's like so much sugar in here or whatever. But it's like, yeah, you have to know what you're actually putting on your body, right? Like, yes, I know it's bad for me, but I'm gonna have it anyways. It should have, like all things should have, like a warning label
on their product because people won't buy it. So they just don't use the artificial dyes. Instead, they simply use things like paprika extract and annatto in order to get the flavoring. The Doritos in the UK are also non-genetically modified, while the American versions are made up of GMO corn contaminated with glyphosate, that herbicide, weed killer, and then laced with all these chemicals.
It's cheaper, right?
Finally, number 6, Frosted Flakes. The jingle, the tiger, the mighty, mighty tiger. I mean, I ate them as a kid. I get it. There's no nutritional value going on here. But at first glance, the Frosted Flakes in the United States and the UK, they look nearly identical. But there's one big difference. There's a preservative in the US version called BHT. Now, this is important because there's a lot of controversial research linking BHT to cancer. And it's believed to also be an endocrine disruptor, which means it's going to mess with your hormones, men and women. And it's not even permitted in cereals in Europe. So Kellogg's reformulated their cereals so that they can legally sell them overseas. And then following a petition to get the BHT out of it, Kellogg's removed it from several brands like Rice Krispies, but it still uses it several years later in the Frosted Flakes still, despite selling it BHT free in other parts of the world. It makes no sense. Why don't these companies just sell the same safer products everywhere? I'll tell you why. Europe takes a precautionary principle approach towards food additives that are potentially risky. They ban or they add warning labels to these additives for their people. The US takes the opposite approach. It doesn't remove the additives from our food supply until they have been proven to be dangerous. And that can take years and a lot of red tape to get approved.
Yeah.
So it literally means you're the lab rat.
And of course, it takes a lot of like regulations and having to go past through lobbying and all of that to actually make something like that's forbidden, right?
Americans are the lab rat. And the US government allows food companies to largely police itself, deciding which ingredients they're going to use, which chemicals they're going to use, which additives they're going to use, which ones are safe to add to their own products. That clearly isn't a wise approach, is it? Because if a company can get away with a cheaper ingredient, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Given a choice, they're always going to opt for the cheaper flavor enhancer, the cheaper color additive, the cheaper preservative, the cheaper genetically modified organism and ingredient. Even if these cheaper alternatives have negative health impacts, they're going to choose that route.
They don't care.
Profit over people.
It is as simple as that. They simply do not care. If they're cutting costs, it's like that's the way to go, period.
Truth is that no one's watching out for us. No one's going to take better care of you and your family's health
than yourself.
Than you. When they tell you that they know their processed foods are safe, they're telling you a lie. So I've dedicated a big part of my teachings and my life towards educating people on the deceptiveness of one, big pharma and drugs and waiting to get sick and covering them up in side effects, and big food and all the garbage that ends up in our unreal food, and help them make food simple. So I put several chapters in my Amazon best-selling book, Make Food Simple, because it's a subject that there's a lot more that you need to know about, to watch out for, to learn how to read labels. The food industry doesn't care about your health. It's your responsibility to do it. Below I put a link that you can grab a free copy of this book. You just cover the shipping. I'll get it to you. However, it also took you to the grocery store to start teaching you how to understand these. I started in the produce area to find some real secret gems on how to shop better for your food, identify what's making you unhealthy, and start protecting yourself and your family. That video is right here. Enjoy.
Yeah, I think there's, I think those kind of videos, like they're very informative and they're good because we see you need to be informed. However, I really there's like a bit of like a love and hate relationship with them, because it's like, oh my God, please don't tell me, don't tell me what's in them, because it's like, I want to be able to have I don't know, because it's obviously all of these things, I don't think they're, obviously you shouldn't base your diet on all these things, you shouldn't have them every single day of your life. I don't think that's a good thing. But if you're craving, I don't know, what is it, a fries with ketchup, or I don't know, a Dorito, I think you want to be able to sort of enjoy them without guilt. if they're not a part of your regular sort of like diet, it's like, I know it's not good for me, so I'm not like buying this every single day, I'm not eating this every single day. But like if every once in a while, like, oh my god, I'm like really craving a Dorito, like I want to be able to have a Dorito without feeling the guilt of like, oh my god, what am I putting on my body? I think there are certain things that I think are just like a flat out no. Like I think some people are like, I don't know, just like flat out won't drink soda. And it's like, yeah, of course, that's your prerogative, because obviously it has like so many chemicals and so many like harmful things that you just sort of like decide not to. And again, that goes with like whatever it is that you're craving. Like if there's Mountain Dew or, I know, the Dorito, or what was the other thing, or the Frosted Flakes, like whatever it is. I think obviously like you I think that you should be able to sort of like enjoy these things without having like the amount of guilt of like, oh my god, like I'm gonna get cancer. It's like, no, I mean, it isn't like that. And I think obviously if you have one of these things like every once in a while, it's okay. Like you're not gonna get cancer, because it's not gonna be, or you know, your endocrine system is gonna be like messed up just because you have, you know, one Frosted Flakes, a couple Frosted Flakes, a bowl of Frosted Flakes, like once, like every 6 months. Like, no, I don't think that's a thing. And obviously it really matters what you do, I think, when it comes to like diet, as in not like as in like I am on a diet, no, as in like the diet as in the things that you consume as in your diet. I think like it's okay, and you should definitely keep in mind that really what matters is what you do every single day, and not what you do every once in a while. And that's what you can maybe like have a burger, or again have a hot dog, have like one of those like maybe harmful things that again are maybe not that good for you. But if you're only doing them like every once in a while, it's gonna be okay. Like you're not gonna get sick just because you like have one of these like every, again, have a bunch of like, I don't know, once a year or something. But I really do think everyone should actually know this, because I know that a lot of people do not really have that mentality. I think that's probably in the minority. Although, you know, in this modern time, I think a lot of people are really health conscious. And if not health conscious, I think you're more, probably like you're more aware, or at least you attempt to be a little bit more aware of what you're putting on your body, and you're trying to like read the labels and, you know, try to identify like what those words mean. Because, you know, when they tell you like the ingredient list, is like, I do not even know like what is that. It's like BH something. It's like, what is that? I have no idea what it is. I think obviously easily identifiable ingredients, like, I don't know, the high corn, like the high fructose corn syrup, like those things are kind of like things that you know are bad, or like the yellow number 5 or the red number, I don't know, 5 as well, I don't know. But I think that food colorings and food dyes in general, I think you've been warned as in like, oh, you know, gives you allergies, like it's not really a good thing to have like a lot of. You know, you should definitely keep your mind on like, oh, hey, I'm not gonna go wild while consuming all of this. But some of those things are like, I do not have any idea what that is. Like, I don't know, you should definitely like look it up as in like, what is this? I mean, there's like, I don't know, I can't remember like one of them, but I think that you usually have like weird names, and it's like, what is it? And it probably, of course, you should like look it up, and then you get really scared and paranoid, because like it gives you cancer, it gives you like attention problems, it messes up with your hormones. It's like, oh my god, it gives you like everything, it gives you allergies, it gives you like, oh my god, okay, there's like so many things. So that's what I'm going with. Like I don't think you should take this as in like to the extreme of like, oh my god, I can't have this ever, or, you know, I'm gonna, you know, paranoidally like read every single thing, that every single ingredient on whatever it is I'm eating. I think you really do have to accept it as in like, you know what, maybe as long as I'm not having this every day, I think it's okay. But I really do think that, again, that's the medium, probably, you know, the medium average person. But I do really believe that there are a lot of people that are really uninformed about this, and they're not really aware of what they're putting on their bodies. Either is because, I don't know, no one, like, you know, they weren't taught how to, you know, you really have to be aware of the things, of the warning labels. And again, or maybe just, you know, some interest is on your part, because obviously the companies are not going to tell you, hey, this is bad for you, because they want you to buy their product. So it is, I think, like that's where the consumer part comes in, and you have to be I think an informed customer, maybe, because again, it's your health. Like he said, like you're the one in charge of your health. And, you know, it's sadly like I think a lot of people naively, and that's what I'm going with. Like, I think maybe some people, and I do probably more than I'm thinking of, are like, oh, well, but the government like takes care of this. There's the FDA. and there's like regulations in place and they're taking care of me and my health. But it's like, no, big companies and the government, simply put, do not really care that much about your health. And if there's an interest on your part of like, hey, I want to know what I'm putting on my body, I'm interested in maybe like leading a healthier lifestyle, like it's gonna come from you. Like it's not gonna come from those companies, because obviously they're trying to sell you something, and it is like, of course they're trying to cut costs. Like as long as they do it cheaply, they don't really care if that's harmful. And again, you're thinking, well, but the FDA takes care of it. It's like not always. Like the FDA has constantly, like, they either go to, I think, a lot of extremes. They either like ban completely, like things that are, they ban completely, or they like, I don't know, warned you about things that are maybe like you need to chill, like it's okay. Or they either tell you, no, it's totally safe, it's fine. But then down the line, like, I don't know, 15 years later, 20 years later, they have to like, oh, no, wait, like it was actually like super harmful and that should be forbidden. So it is like, okay, but didn't we know this? Like, I'm trusting the FDA. It's like, no, you shouldn't actually blindly trust the FDA. You should probably, again, look for, maybe not as, but maybe UK or just like EU in general. I think they have like better regulations put in place, because like he said, they actually warned you, like it's a preventative sort of like measure, as in like we're not gonna wait until this ingredient has actually caused harm to actually, ban this. It's like, I think the US is different, because again, they're like, they'll like say, yeah, it's totally safe, or like, yeah, put it on the market. But then down the line, people started noticing like weird side effects, and they're like, oh no, we have to switch. And I think that's been the case. I don't know if like, I think that's the case with a lot of ingredients, but I know that's usually a thing with a lot of medications as well. That they're like, oh yeah, totally safe, go for it. And then like a bunch of years later, people file like a class action, like a lawsuit, and they're like, oh wait, no, it wasn't that. Turns out we were wrong. And I think the FDA like gets it wrong a lot of times. So I don't think that you should sort of like naively trust them for them to take care of it, because they won't. Like simply put, they won't. And the government, and again, probably the FDA as well, has some like interest in place, and they don't really care. So it really isn't in their best interest to have like to switch things up and be, because again, it's so easy to, like he said, like if they already have a version that's sort of like the healthier option, why aren't they like doing that? Like you could, it's not like, oh, we have to like switch our formula and we do not know how to do this. It's like, no, if the UK version like has proven to be like, it's okay, it's probably basically the same product, then okay, so why aren't you like manufacturing that one? It's like, if it's healthier, it's like, again, because probably something about cost. And I really do think, like, not to get all like conspiracy theory, but there are, I think, some like, again, it's not in their best interest, because they're also with the companies, and they're always trying to sell you something. So it is a little bit of like, you really do have to do your own independent like research to know, again, what's sort of like safe for you to consume and what isn't. But I think as a general rule, you probably shouldn't have like so many, I don't know, like, you should probably try to eat healthy, but it's like, oh, what is healthy? It's like less processed foods. Like, again, cereals like are good, but you shouldn't like have this for breakfast every single day of your life, because again, it's all sugar, no protein. And again, just you should focus probably on healthier options, as in like prioritizing probably more natural foods instead of like overly processed things. And maybe you should just like have them like in a less quantity, because again, I don't think you should like ban them completely, because then probably you're gonna go a little crazy, especially like if you're really like craving something, and especially if you've been told like, oh, you can't have this. It's like, oh, but I'm used to having this. Or some people really do have trouble with, I don't know, like just with the whole idea of something being banned. It's like, oh, now I'm craving it. So yeah, it's like, okay, you can have it, but do not eat this like every single day. So I really do think it's like, it's a path to sort of like creating healthier lifestyle, and a healthier lifestyle by making like healthier choices. And how do you do that? Well, by again doing your research independently and doing your research, and again just like prioritizing like probably more natural foods and just real food, which I know is like, oh, that's food. No, but it's not actual like real food, as in like you're probably like doing yourself and you're making yourself, and you have more control over like what's in this and what isn't. Because obviously if you're having like, I don't know, a Mountain Dew, like that's not really like, I don't know how to make this at home, and I don't really know what is in this. But maybe if you have like, I don't know, orange juice. I know it's not the same, but you know what it is. Like, it's just orange juice. Like, I'm squeezing like the oranges myself. I'm going to the extreme. I know you can buy orange juice at a supermarket, but that's kind of the thing. But I do have to say, I'm going to finish up by saying that I would love to see a video or someone that actually like has both versions, both the UK and the US version of these products, and it's just like a blind test and see. Do you really, can you tell the difference? Like, can you actually say, oh yeah, this actually tastes different? Or is it like, it's the exact same thing? I would love to, or maybe a placebo effect. Like, if I switch it up, and if I give you like UK frosted flakes, would you able to tell me the difference? Like, you know what, this tastes a little strange, and this doesn't taste like the US frosted flakes that I'm used to. So I would love it if someone would actually do that. Or, because again, I think it has to be a placebo thing, because if you tell people, oh, this is different, people are going to be like, no, this tastes completely different. It's like, no. A blind test with a placebo effect situation happening of like, I don't tell you like, what is it? Just, this is it, and this is, the Heinz ketchup, like, this is it, like, have it, and tell me if you, like, if it's okay. And most people, I would venture to say, would be like, yeah, I don't see anything weird with this. And it's like, oh, well, the joke's on you, like, it's the UK version, and it has less preservatives and less things, so it's better for you. But yeah, I would love it if someone actually did that. And that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.